join the Zoom. Alhamdulillah, she's here already. Then we'll start. Auzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining this training organized by the Center for Professional Development, CPD. I am Dr. Raini from the Learning Design Unit and I will be your moderator for this training. Before we start our session, let's recite Umul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Alhamdulillah, for the first training offered by CPD in the year 2024, today we are blessed with a renowned internal speaker and she will give us training on improving course syllabus with ChatGPT. The duration will be 1.5 hours via Zoom, and also we have created the link in YouTube. Normally, I welcome the director of CPD, Prof. Dr. Mira Kartiwi, for her welcoming remarks, but she is our speaker today, and therefore we can skip this part. Before we start, let me give you the overview of today's training and a bit of introduction of the speaker. Let me share the screen. Okay, so today we are going to have the training on improving course syllabus with ChatGPT. Introduction about the course. The course syllabuses are optional documents that outline expectations, learning objectives, and course structure for students. However, creating and maintaining effective syllabuses can be time-consuming and challenging for educators. This training will explore how ChatGPT, which is a large language model, can be leveraged to improve the process of creating and refining course syllabus for academic staff. Specifically, this 1.5 hour training will provide participants with the knowledge and skills they need to improve their course syllabus. For the training competency, the training will enhance instructors' competency in pedagogical aspects. This is aligned with the 4th IUM mission statement, which is to nurture the quality of holistic excellence, which is imbued with Islamic moral spiritual values in the process of learning, teaching, research, consultancy, publication, administration, and student life. The training outcomes, the first one is to reduce the instructor workload, automate time-consuming tasks, and improve syllabus creation efficiency for instructors. The second one is to improve syllabus quality, produce syllabuses that are clear, engaging, and dynamically adapted to course needs, enhance students' engagement, foster deeper understanding and motivation through accessible and engaging syllabus. And the last one is to increase accessibility, which is to ensure all students have equal access to course information and expectations. Now let's give you the brief background about our internal speaker, Prof. Dr. Mira Kartiwi. She is currently a professor in the Department of Information Systems, Kuliah of Information and Communication Technology, and also a director for the Center for Professional Development, CPD-IUM. Her areas of expertise include data mining, artificial intelligence, data analytics, health informatics, data management, e-commerce, e-learning, information system strategy, business process improvement, product development, marketing, delivery strategy, workshop facilitation, training, and communication. She is also an experienced consultant specializing in the financial and manufacturing sectors. She completed several certifications in e-learning and data analytics domain. She is also a certified Moodle educator, as well as a fellow and instructor for collaborative online international learning, while Bazenji Project, Shenandoah University, USA. In addition to her academic and industrial work, she is renowned as a passionate cyber parenting activist. She worked closely with schools and, she works closely with schools and Muslim societies in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Australia to provide awareness for parents and children on the risk of going online internet. Regarding the academic qualifications, Prof. Mira is a true University of Wollongong, Australia. Okay. In 2009, she obtained Doctor of Philosophy in Economics and Information System. In 2001, Master of Information Systems, and in 2000, Bachelor of Commerce, Business Information Systems. Selected professional experiences, okay, because Prof. Mira's CV is about 60 plus pages, okay. So I just put here, which I think related to the training and also prior and background. From 1st August 2021, until present, she is the Director for Center Professional Development. 2020 to present, Professional Technologies, Lembaga Technologies Malaysia. 1st January 2019 to 31st July 2021, she was the Deputy Director for CPD. 5th May 2023 to 7th May 2007, she was a research assistant at the Department of Information System, University of Wollongong, Australia. And from 6th August 2001 to 10th February 2003, she was a system analyst in PT Amatex, Bandung, Indonesia. Selected awards. In 2020, she was awarded Murabi Award Science and Technology in Applied Sciences in IUM Takrim Day 2020. In 2011, she was appointed as an honorary fellow at the University of Wollongong, Australia. In 2007, she was awarded the Higher Degree Research Award for Excellence. In 2004, she was the recipient of the Australia Postgraduate Award. I think that would be all. But before we start, don't forget, from this training, you will obtain 1.5 CTD points. Okay, for those who fill in the I attend, recorded in Zoom attendance for a minimum of a certain duration, and fill in the evaluation form within 24 hours. Okay, and then at the end of the training, please get ready for the photos to be taken. Without further ado, please welcome Prof. T.S. Dr. Mira Kartiwi.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahilladzi hadana li hadza wa ma kunna linahtadiya laula an hadana Allah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasuluh. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Aini. I cannot see my face when you're introducing me. I'm so embarrassed. One thing that I know for sure, I always learn about myself when people introduce me. So I learned about myself just now with how you select certain elements of my life, which I thought that might not be the highlights of my life, but thank you so much for highlighting that. I think the best highlight of my life, one of them is actually to be in CPD and having a good team with me here in CPD that helping the entire university. That's the highlight. So Alhamdulillah, thank you so much, Dr. Aini. And we have Dr. Madiha here, one of the Deputy Director in CPD. And I'm very sure we also have Sister Hilda and all the admin staff. This is one of the things that I'm truly grateful. We have a very good team in the center, which I really hope the university would, or the teams here, all the colleagues, academic colleagues, would leverage on the center that we have, and feel free to reach out to us if we could be of any help. So thank you so much, Dr. Aini. Again, my apologies for joining a little bit later than expected, but I really hope that everyone have all the informations ready. So just now, Dr. Aini have actually shared with you the learning outcome. Let me just try to share the slide. So sorry, not sure why. Okay. So today we will be, the title says, it says improving course syllabus with ChatGPT, but later on, don't be surprised if I brought in some other tools, which I believe it is beneficial to everyone to learn more than one tools, and there are strengths and weaknesses of each tools. So I really hope today you have your course outline ready. I really encourage that you have your course outline handy with you, at least when we want to compare the content, especially from what was being recommended by the tools that we're going to explore later on, and the one that you have at the moment. That would give you some ideas on what would be the new directions of your course if you really have to improve the content. Okay. Okay, so let me just pull up the slides. Okay. Apparently it takes a while. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, just want to make sure, can you view the slides, Dr. Aini? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And the audio, is it clear?
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So this is the title that actually the ideas of this is after we see what happened in several meetings at university level and the feedbacks that we receive from a number of kuliah. Why don't we have similar such course in which such training in which we can actually learn how to use the generative AI to improve the course content, or most of the requests is actually on course content, but I think if we'll only look at the course content, it will not be complete. So let's have a look on the whole syllabus, because the whole syllabus is actually not only talk about what are the topics that actually will be covered in the course, but also the way you're going to deliver the content and some other thing, because I realized when I was teaching in Australia, the course, I'm not sure whether everyone still remember your course outline, or we call it in Australia, we call it subject outline. It's actually quite thick. I mean, like it's a number of, it's surely not 3 pages or 4 pages like what we have at the moment, but it's kind of lengthy, because in here, in the course outline, we actually have a lot of informations. For example, later on, I'm going to go through some examples in which we have what are the kind of resources that the students can actually use, what are the expectations of the course, if they are required to use to have some background in the fundamental concept where they can actually learn that, and all those kind of things actually provided extensively inside the course outline. So I thought it was during my undergrad or during my time in teaching, which is my time in teaching. There's around, I've been here for 13, 14 years. So maybe I thought it was a while ago, so it will be different now. It will be a lot more compact. But last year I went there again, and then to my surprise, the course outline is actually getting thicker rather than thinner, because they put more informations, and then it's kind of interesting to see that this is a very important document for you to start the course. So this is what we're going to learn, what we're going to have a look today on how we can actually improve this, and whether we can actually help the students better by providing a better course syllabus. So again, to echo what Dr. Raini mentioned just now, we have some objectives that we want to achieve by the end of this course. We would like to see how we can actually use this generative AI, particularly ChatGPT, and I'm going to introduce you with 2 other tools, which is kind of similar in nature, and all free, so you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry that I'm promoting something premium. No, I'm not going to promote something premium, although the premium option is there. But I'm going to use all the things that I'm going to use today is all free tools, which is accessible to all of you. So we're going to have a look again, reduce the instructor workload, how we can actually automate some of the time-consuming, like constructing details in syllabus, and then preparing the course plan and whatnot. So I think this is one of the things that we can actually use the generative AI for. Another one is that now that we have been teaching our course for quite some time, so I'm very sure we are the subject matter expert. We know our content very well, but then life change, things change. So maybe it's a good time for us to actually have a look on how we can actually improve the course syllabus quality, and then can we have an activities in the class that is more engaging, that is more dynamic, which is fit in well to the topics that we're going to deliver in the course. And also using these course, the sessions that we have in 1.5 hours, we're going to have a look on how we can actually improve the student engagement. Later on, I'm going to show you some of the kind of resources, because I think today what is expected as an instructor, as a lecturer, as an educator. My dream is not as a lecturer, my dream is actually as an educator. As an educator, we have to have a lot of tools, a lot of materials that we can use when in the times we need, or we can actually share just in case our students need it. So in this case, we're going to actually use some of the generative AI to come up with certain kind of activities or some kind of resources that would help the students to actually have a better understandings and have a better motivations to actually engage in the syllabus. And last but not least, we're going to have a look on how we can actually increase the accessibility. Today, I think the conversations is more on the notions of education has been geared and has been emphasized on inclusivity. And I learned so much, even this semester, I learned so much from some of my students. One of my students who are actually having difficulties in learning, I didn't realize that the person had difficulties in learning until almost the end of the semester. And I was asking him, why didn't you let me know that you actually have these difficulties in learning? And he said, no, I didn't realize that with the course that I'm teaching, with the course that in my course, he didn't find that disabilities is a challenge. So this is one of the things that I learned from him. Apparently, the different materials that I have been sharing with them, it actually helped certain kind of learners with, especially learners with difficulties in with learning difficulties. They can actually pick the kind of materials that fits them. So I think this is it's paid off. I know it's challenging at times when we have to build a lot of things, but it's paid off, especially when the students say that I don't find the challenges that I have actually something that is critical when I learn your course. So I think that's really, really opened my eyes on why we have to do what we are doing in teaching. So again, this is some of the things that perhaps we can actually have a look at, and then I'm very sure there will be a lot more questions and sharing because I'm not the most expert. I'm very sure there's a lot more people more expert than me in this room. So I'll be more than happy to learn from all of you as well throughout the trainings. And I hope this is as engaging, although it's virtual. I hope it doesn't feel like we are detached from each other. All right. Again, let me just, because one of the things that I learned from most of the feedback every training is that why the training only cover this, why the training doesn't cover that. Again, let me remind the title of the training. It's actually improving course syllabus with ChatGPT. So what we will be covering in this training is more on course syllabus. So I'm not talking about research. I'm not going to talk about building research proposal. I'm not going to talk about how to use generative AI for writing paper. That's totally out of the context of this training. So we will be focusing only on improving course syllabus. I hope that builds a better expectations of what we're going to go through in this session. And also from course syllabus, we're going to have a look at how to improve it. So again, the exercise that we're going to do today is focusing more on how to improve it. And that's why in order for you to improve, you have to know what we have at the moment, right? So it will be nice if you have your course outline handy. So later on, we can see whether it is really, whether what we have is really good so that we don't have to improve, or maybe we can actually improve in one way or the other to make sure that it's much more relevant for our students, and also preparing them better for the life after the degree. And again, we will be using the tools. ChatGPT is one of them, but this is not the only tools available. Okay, so please don't feel discouraged that I don't subscribe to ChatGPT. You don't have to subscribe to the premium one. We'll be using the free one, and on top of this, we have some other tools that is I'm very sure beneficial to everyone. Okay. If I'm talking very fast, please remind me to slow down. Dr. Raini, please don't hesitate. I think you know me. When I'm passionate, I sometimes I forget the speed limit. So please feel free to interrupt if you find that I'm talking too fast or it just doesn't make sense. Okay. So feel free to interrupt. Okay. I know this is, I hope you don't, and none of you feel insulted by these questions, but I think it is a good idea to, again, just knowledge check, just to check our knowledge, whether we have the same understanding of what course syllabus is. Because sometimes we assume that we understand it in the same way and people termed it as common sense, but I think the world have shown that how that common sense is a bit overrated with technologies and whatnot. So I think let's just have a look on what course syllabus again. And I noted that everyone here are an expert in teaching and in educating. So I'm very sure it is not so much of an issue, but let's just check what other people understood about course syllabus and see whether we understood it in the same way. So based on Stanford undergrad academic advising, so I'm looking at a number of references, and I'm looking at the references which is kind of close to another references that I refer to. So I think this is a good representative of what course syllabus should be in the eyes of the students. Okay, so because course syllabus could means different to different users, to different consumers. So in this case, when we're talking about course syllabus for students, by right, the course syllabus is the guide for. So in this case, a syllabus is your guide to course. So remember, this is course syllabus talking to the students. A syllabus is your guide to a course and what will be expected of you over the course of the quarter. Generally, it will include course policies, rules and regulations, required tasks, and schedule of assignments. A syllabus can tell you nearly everything you need to know about how a course will be run and what will be expected of you. So as you can see in here, when the students actually get hold into our course outline or course informations, in iTalim, I think it's even more interesting because you don't have to only put the PDF. In most of the time, I don't actually put the PDF. I actually redesign and reconstruct the course syllabus, so course outline. So in this case, I put it into a slides and I design it so that it doesn't feel like they are reading documents, but they're going through a slides. So this is some of the information that I usually put in. So course policies, rules and regulations, required text, and so on. And that's for the students. Whereas for us as faculty members, as an academician, there's an interesting definition or interesting descriptions of what course syllabus is. It says that effective syllabi are learner-centered, meaning they move beyond the mechanics of the course. So it's not only just giving the information, but when is my consultation hours, when is the deadline of the assignments, what the textbooks of the course that they're required to read or they're recommended to read. But it's actually moving beyond that, which is to outline how students can be successful in the course. And recently, I visited a number of universities in US, which is interesting to see. Now they use, and also when I visited in Australia, that's interesting to see that it's become more and more normalized to actually have something called contract assessment. So since the beginning of the semester, the students already know if you fulfill everything, you get B. But if you want to get more than this, if you want to get A, then you have to do some challenging questions, which the instructors will distribute from time to time. Or, of course, if you do not fulfill this, then you get a lower grade. So in this case, they already know what are the commitment that they have to have in order for them to perform. And that is part of the course syllabus, part of the course outline. So in this case, you can see why it is thick, because the information is very extensive. And this is actually also comes from the research that research has found that students learn more and enjoy a course more when they are presented with the student-centered syllabus. Means that they already know. It's kind of like a Hunger game. Maybe, I don't know whether it's a good analogy, but you can actually have kind of informations that we will start here and we will end here, and these are the things that you have to do in between if you want to perform, if you want to survive. These are the expected information, these are the expected commitment, and of course, if you cannot fulfill that, chances is that either you get a lower grade or you will fail the course. So everything clear since the beginning. So this is one of the things that we can actually perhaps think about whether our course informations, be that course outline or whatever we use in the first day of the semester, really help us to convey these informations to the students. All right, there is, I'm not sure whether anyone have read this comics before, but a lot of people ask why do we revise syllabus if the students don't read it? And there is a comic saying that I think you can read the comics. Okay. Actually, the students keep asking informations where everything is in the course syllabus. So why we have to revise it that when the students are not actually reading it? Or perhaps we thought they don't read it. Okay, so seems someone accidentally turned the mic on. Okay. All right. So just now, again, as I said, maybe we assume that they don't read it, but in iTalim, because again, as I said, I put everything in iTalim, I put all the activities in iTalim, I put the resource materials in iTalim, the learning materials in iTalim, and it's interesting for me. In fact, it is quite the opposite. When I check because in iTalim you can actually do activity completion tracking, right? So in activity completion tracking, I look at all of my resources, learning materials, and it's interesting to see that a lot of students actually, yes, really start the semester by going through the course outline first. They go through the course as I put it, course info, and as of yesterday when I check, only 7% that didn't actually read it. So in this case, if for us to think that it is it is not a really useful document, I think it's a little bit too pessimistic, because if you check, and it's one of the things, this is one of the things that is good to have completion tracking activated, because you can really see how many students that don't actually see it and whether your documents is really making an impact. So it is really making an impact. Students actually go through it. The 2 students or the 3 students that didn't actually read it, it's kind of expected. Probably there are always people who probably think that they know without have to read it. Okay, so but then again, we can approach the students, why don't you read the document, and some of the information there is very critical for you. So I think it's easier for us to follow up. Okay, so again, why? Because it's a very important tool, and I believe it is about time for us to again check our course outline and see whether it has all the elements that we need.
Prof,
Okay.
before
Yes.
like this, there is a question.
Sure.
Dr. Wan, may I ask if the students have the right to access the course outlines?
Okay. I'm not really sure regular in terms of regulation wise, but I do give them access to the topic. Some elements of course outline I do share, like for example, what are the topics, what are the prerequisites of the course, what are the synopsis of the course, what are the learning objective of the course. I think those are important information. So again, that's why, as I said, if you don't feel like you want to give the course outline, the one that is being endorsed in the Senate, I think you can get a bit and pieces of that document and then share with your students the part that you feel critical, the part that you feel very important. And again, looking at the course outline at this moment, I think we are too focused only on the topics, whereas a lot more information when it comes to preparing them for learning is still not there, unfortunately. Like for example, again, policy. If they submitted the assignments late. So usually it actually attached to the assignments, but it would be nice if we have that as part of the course. So no matter which assignment, if you submit late, there will be consequences. No matter what assignments, if you submitted in different format to what is expected, then you will not be graded as it is. So there are a lot of things, and this is the reason why I'm not sure whether I have it handy, the example from different university, but it was quite thick. The one that I brought in from US and from Australia is quite thick. So I was wondering when they actually distribute that, but most of them, they said they actually have it So 2 weeks before the semester start, all these documents are ready. So the first day, most of them, of course, they would have it in the learning or in the learning management system, but portions of it, they're actually printed. So I know all of us, we are very conscious with printing. So if you feel that you don't have to print, you don't have to print. But if you have something that is, you can bring to the class and then emphasize out of that many informations, I want you to digest this one first. So if you feel that it is doable to print portions of it that is very, very, very critical, I don't think that is something that too much for us to do. Okay. So I'm not sure, does it answer your questions, Doctor?
Yes, Prof. Mira, thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any other questions?
As of now, no, Prof.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, thank you. So, yeah, let's proceed with the next one. So this is the tools, oops, my goodness, wait a sec. These are the 3 tools that I would recommend we can actually have a look and then see whether, I'm very sure ChatGPT is not new to everyone, but if you have been using ChatGPT, there's actually additional tools that comes that also play similar role to this one. We have Bard from Google, and there are Copilot from Microsoft, from Bing, yeah, Microsoft, which is in this case, the purpose is kind of similar. You have to have a lot of, you have to have the skills to play with the prompt, but then again, I think you read the statement from the lead researcher from OpenAI that today, less and less, actually, when people say the prompt engineering is in, actually, the in skills now is able to communicate, able to articulate, able to write. So that is the skills which all of us has. So now you don't have to really think about the mechanical part of it, like how will I be able to structure it? Will I be able to construct a good prompt? So I think more beyond the technicality, do you have the information to trigger the right information? Do you have the right requirements to trigger the right information? So that's what is needed at the moment. Okay, so let me just have a look. Sorry, I need to move to different files. So let me just move to different files for now. We have until 11, right? So, okay, good, we're on time. So maybe while I'm moving to different page, is there any questions that anyone would like to highlight or you would like to share?
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Prof. Mira, I would like to ask your previous, regarding to your previous slide, you mentioned that how students can be successful throughout this course outline. In fact, we inform the percentage of their marks. It's written, and at the beginning of the semester, we inform them. Don't you think that it is enough? Or what can we add extra? What do you mean? I mean, I couldn't get the point much.
Sorry, you mentioned just now the fact that we have shared the carry mark, is it?
You showed us one slide, how students can be successful. So we should input this into course outline, what I understood. In fact, we do it by giving marks, 3 or 4 segments. They say attendance or the quiz,
okay,
etc. What needed more?
Okay. What are the kind of other informations that would help the students? Is that your question is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So an example of some other information, let me just share with you this document. I think this is kind of interesting to see. I downloaded this, so I collected quite different requirements because some universities they actually have requirements. I remembered I do have this requirement when I was teaching there on the kind of informations that I have to put in. So it's not just some conceptual element, but it's the details. Like for example, this is actually coming from MIT. This is some of the informations that usually need to be put in. So the guideline for MIT, the guideline is every course outline, every course syllabus needs to have, of course, course title and number, credit hours, the meeting times, the classroom locations, the website, if you have a learning management system. So usually they standardize, this is the learning management system. This you can actually access through these URLs and whatnot. So this is for the instructor information. So as you can see, there's kind of a lot that we have to provide. But I think put that aside, what is more for me critical is this one. Usually the learning objectives is very, like we put it into the informations, which is some of them may not be able to relate. Like for example, C3, C4, or all those kind of things. It is important for us because that will actually be useful for another documentations. But for the students, what's relevant for them is that by the end of the course, what will I gain? And how would you deliver that content to me? So I think this is one of the information that perhaps we can actually provide that or improve that in the existing course information. It's not necessarily have to be the course outline format that we have. And in fact, as I said earlier, I don't give that course format which is endorsed in Senate, but I pick certain elements in iTalim and I put it in the slide format, which they can access anytime. And it's embedded rather than download. They don't have to download, they just have to click and then look at all the informations there. And then if there's any fundamental informations that they need, then they have to be able to refer to these books, because it is expected that when they take the course, because I'm teaching database programming, which is on the second year, it is expected that all the basics is actually covered in the first year, for example. So they have to, again, reach out to or access the books that they have learned, that they have used during the first year courses or whatnot. But to help in giving them another references, I also have something called flashcard. So let me see whether I can share with you my iTalim. So I have flashcard in which I recall some of the concept that they've learned in the first year. So if they don't have the book, because most of them, they don't go to the library, not most, some of them, they don't go to the library and get the book. So they usually will just relying on the lecture notes. But I think for me, it will be hard to move on to the next topic without them recalling those concepts. So I have this references, which, sorry, didn't realize. So yeah, I have these references which help them if it's been a while and you forget most of the concept that you've learned in first year, then why don't you go through the flashcard that I provided in iTalim? Okay. Okay, so this is usually where the course information is, and this is the script. I have this mastered in sections in which I have all the informations about the course. What else? I think I have flashcard, which is here. What is a script? Okay, so this is the course info, as I said just now. So this is some of the information. I put it in the Google slide. I embed. Okay, so the course synopsis. So for the first day, this is what I go through. This is the course synopsis, and do you have the same expectations when you enroll the course? I mean, like, they are adult learners, so they should have expectations. It's sad that when the students come to the class, why do you do this course? Because we have to. It's sad. For me, it's sad. No, you should have expectations. You should come to a course with expectations that you should be able to achieve something, because I don't want to waste your time. You don't have to waste my time. So I think let's aim for a bigger than just us sitting here. So I think this is what I usually go through, because they need to have some expectations. So these are some of the informations, and of course some policies and whatnot, which is relevant only to the course. Some of the policies is very local to the course, so that's why I'm not going to go through, because I'm worried people might think, why do you have that such policy? Because I think I need to emphasize certain thing, especially when it comes to late assignments or misconduct or things like that. We do have some elements in SAPER, but some of the informations may not be there, so I have to complement with things that I feel it will help them to learn better. And this is some of the, let me just share with you the glossaries. Okay, so let me share with you as well that usually we are relying on SFS. With all due respect to whichever office taking care of SFS, I find it a little bit late sometimes to learn from what SFS can actually provide me. So usually I will do this instead. I will have some kind of course material effectiveness survey. Okay, so I want to see what do they think. So in this case, say for materials, some find it comprehensive. So I can see what kind of materials actually relate to the most. We thought that only notes, and apparently from here, it is not actually only notes. So some of them, they find flashcard is actually useful. Some of them, they find the questions with challenging questions actually useful. Some find, so as you can see, different people learn different way. We learn different way. So I think this is why I find it a lot more easier for me to actually assess what have I been doing is right before it reach the end of the semester. And usually I will do this right before the midterm. So at least I can, if I have to recover after midterm, I know what are the topics that I have to recover better and what are the materials that I have to improve. So these are some of the things that perhaps you can do. If you need this, if you want to use this kind of survey, I will be able to share with you. I will export this into a file in which you can just import to your iTalim. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so that is an example.
Mira, I'm sorry.
Yes, Doctor.
I think this is very nice. I do also apply now the end of the semester, asking questions. The classical one, write three best, three worst things about the course. So it is quite nice, informative. Do you think that this is, I mean, some countries describe it as a democratic education, a part of democratic education. Even the primary schools, the parents are invited to contribute the course outline, materials, etc. But it is quite difficult over here to pronounce the word of democracy. But it is quite useful. I mean, asking the students their opinions, even the materials they share. I mean, not many students, but it will be very beneficial.
Yeah. I knowing you from ISTEC, I think you have that. you have a much bigger vocabularies for this. I unfortunately I cannot relate to the democratic part, but for me, it's more on the, for me, what is important for us to start the journey on learning is to have all the informations ready. So it's like, for example, because part of the research that I do at KPT is on kajian kerelevanan and on how relevant the content of the course today. So it is interesting to see that a lot of students actually go through the course just for the sake of completing the course. And in CPD, we actually came across some of the cases in which the lecturers didn't even come to the class and the students didn't actually say anything, because they thought what matters is that the lecturers promised the grade, and that's basically it. So this is the kind of thing that we really take it seriously. So if we provide all these informations, the students would have expectations. When things are not fall into the expectations, they should be able to say something, because this is what you promised in the beginning, but the way you execute the course doesn't really align to what you promises. So I think that would give a much better way to guard our education system is. But thank you so much, Dr. Mehmet. I think that's really nice when you put it about the democratic access to all educations and materials. I really learned a lot today. Thank you so much. Okay, is there any other questions? No, okay, right. So again, as I promised, when it comes to improving our syllabus, there are actually a numbers of elements that we want to have a look. So for example, we want to have a look on the course content, we want to have a look on the delivery and whatnot. So let me just share with you, I hope it's, because later on we're going to hide the, we're going to keep the recording private, correct, Dr. Raini? Because I will share the course outline that I have in my course.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let me just share with you the course outline that I have in my course. Again, as I said, I'm teaching database programming this semester, and it is, we are due to to review the curriculum. Okay, so when you do some improvement with course syllabus, we can actually also improve the topics that we have. So there are a number of elements. We can actually improve the topics. We can actually improve the pedagogy. We can actually improve the assessment. We can actually improve the language, so it can be more intentional. So all those kind of things is what we actually aim to get in the course syllabus. So this is the aim of improving the course syllabus. So these are some of the things that we have at the moment. As you can see, it's very complex, but let me just focus with this one first, okay? Because this topic has been quite a while. It has been quite some times, and we have actually been trying to revamp a number of times, but then we realize there are challenges that students actually experience when they learn this many concepts. And we also realize actually there's another course earlier which cover a number of topics which is covered here. So by right, when we want to revise, shouldn't they be learning that earlier? So I think we can move on to a much bigger advanced context. So in this case, let me just share with you how we can actually improve this. Okay, so at the moment, what we need is that we have to have all these topics handy, so at least we can compare with the output of ChatGPT or Copilot or BART later on. And we also need, what is important in prompting with ChatGPT is that we have to have context. So have this course synopsis ready. Okay, so if it's not with you, then maybe you can request. This is not actually the latest. I just realized this is not the latest. I'm yet to download the one that have just been endorsed last year in Senate, but the topic is the same. It's just that now we have to have sub element and whatnot, right? So I think you can also download that. But I think for prompting, because this is the most critical part of that relates directly to our content. So you need this, you need the topics that you have, and then we're going to compare whether it's a lot of improvement needed in the topics that we need to deliver. Okay, so let me just jump in now to I have not been sharing the screen?
Not yet, Prof.
Oh my goodness, okay. Oh, so the course syllabus that I showed just now, it doesn't show in the screen, is it? Oh my goodness, okay. So I've been talking to myself, okay. So this one is actually, again, this is my course outline, this is the course synopsis, this is the topic, blah, blah, blah. And let me just focus on this one. So that is the course synopsis. This is the topic, right? So this is what we're going to compare now with the BART and ChatGPT. Again, as I said, some of the topics actually have been covered in previous semester, in the previous course, which is a much more fundamental, which is in the first year. This is a second year course. So let me just jump into the ChatGPT. If you don't have BART or Copilot, I would suggest that maybe you can use the IUM Live. I'm not sure whether, BART doesn't allow you to use IUM account. You have to use your personal account. Copilot, it does. It does allow you to use the live account. But I would suggest, just in case you would want to access those informations again, maybe it's nice to have your personal account handy and like just use your personal account rather than using the IUM Live account. Okay. Okay, so I will open 3. Okay. So ChatGPT open, Copilot open. Let me open the last one.
Prof. Mira, are you sharing your screen?
I'm about to. This one, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, sorry, because for but I have to log out from IUM account first. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so I will jump into the BART later on, but let me just compare these two first. For me, BART is a little bit similar to ChatGPT. Copilot for me is a little bit more interesting because you can actually assess the resources that it actually refer. Again, I have covered this in my previous training on AI. There are weaknesses and strengths. Strength of the AI is that it actually use LLM, that large language model, that it actually learn from all the documents, be that something that is true or something that is false, the legit document or false document. It just digests everything. It just take everything. Doesn't filter. So knowing that means that there's a chances you'll actually be given information which is wrong, or that's when AI is hallucinating. Okay. All right. So when AI is hallucinating, that when you have to be careful, and this is when you actually exercise your subject matter expert, because when it is wrong, you have to, of course, give response, and this is not right, and then, or this information is incorrect, or I need more information on this, and so on. And that's when the prompting is really effective, when you actually keep exercising, keep giving feedback to the LLM, saying that to the generative AI, to ChatGPT or Copilot, saying that this is not sufficient information. I need more precise information. So let me just share with you what I did just now to actually improve my course. So this is what I have using Copilot. I will share with you the prompt later on. Okay, I will copy and paste to the chat in Zoom. Let me share with you what I have in ChatGPT. So the same information, okay, the same information, it generates different kind of answer. Let me just again, okay, I'm using the same prompt, two different platforms. But if you have a look in here, how the two platforms works with the informations, actually, they work it in different ways. So in the ChatGPT, let me just start with ChatGPT. I'm using the free one. This is ChatGPT, the 3.5. The latest one, the premium one, is actually GPT-4. I do have access to GPT-4. So happen my roommate actually subscribed to the premium one. So I usually use his account. But even this one is kind of interesting to see some of the output. So for example, here, the output, let me give you the prompt later on, but let me share with you the output. And this is the output. So week 3 to 4, week 5 to 6, learning objective is provided, and then so on and so forth. So let me just fast forward to some of the example when AI can be hallucinating. Okay, so this is the part. Let me just scroll a bit. I'm so sorry if I have to move faster. Remember just now I requested 14 weeks, right? But it stops at week 8. And I said I requested that's only for week 8. For 8 weeks, I need 14 weeks. I apologize, blah, blah, blah. So as you can see, don't take things for granted. If it doesn't give the kind of information, the kind of output you need, then keep naturally, just keep like you are talking, you're giving only 8. I need 14. Remember, I mean, as naturally as conversing with other human being, because it can be hallucinating. And some of the informations may not be the informations that you need. So this is the strength and weaknesses of the tools. Because it learns from everything, it doesn't have filter to what's right, what's wrong. So sometimes actually giving the informations which may not fit to your course objective, to your learning outcome. So this is when you exercise your expertise. If this is not the kind of topics and the arrangement is not in place, then maybe you should assess whether this is the right information to refer to. But this is an example. Let me share with you the output from Copilot. So again, as I said, I'm using 2 different tools, the same prompt. But if you have a look in here, this is the output from Copilot. So it highlights the course objective. What is interesting about Copilot before I move on to the next one, actually, when you do the prompt in Copilot, it actually gives you where they get all these informations from, which is when I asked ChatGPT, where do you get this information from? And then it says all this information come from all the references that they can access. Can you give me references from the past 2 years? So it gives, of course, you know that ChatGPT only learned up to 2021. So from then on, it has less access to 2022. It has less access to the information, the recent information. So in this case, if you feel that is not sufficient, cross-check with different platform of different generative AI. So this is, let me just share with you this prompt if you want to try using whatever platform you have handy at the moment. So if you would want to test this, I would suggest, or if you want to test using your course, I would suggest, okay, so you need, or this one is not really critical, but highlight the domain. So first, please highlight the domain. What is your domain? Like, for example, Dr. Mehmet teaching in ISTEC. So maybe you can highlight in political Islamic civilizations, and then so I'm a professor in Islamic civilizations. I'm teaching what course, or the course name. Okay, so who is your learners? Okay, so in this case, I'm teaching database programming to undergraduate students. If you are teaching to postgraduate students, it's even better to be more articulate in terms of working experience. So for example, I'm teaching data quality and to postgraduate students. My students have 3 to 5 working experience. And the course synopsis is, so provide this course synopsis that you get from the course outline. Okay, so it doesn't have to be everything. I took part that is very important, which is sometimes in course outline, the synopsis is quite long, but actually the most important part is just the 2 sentences. So get that 2 sentences in, because we really want to trigger the right output. So this is the 2 sentence, 3 sentence that I get from the course outline, which is, I think it's very critical for the Gen AI to understand my inquiry. And then here, if you have prerequisite, and this is very important because you are building up skills, right? You're building up knowledge through from different courses. From if you are on the second year, your first year, and it is very important to make sure that your first year course means something to on the second year, because we don't go with one course and that's it. No, we don't, I don't think that's what curriculum or syllabus is. You build up understanding. That's why you come up at the end of the program, you come up with competency. And to build that competency is actually proven from a number of courses, because you build that understanding the skill gradually. So in this case, if that course help you to if that course is something that the students have to complete first, highlight that to the prompt that actually there's another course that give all these fundamentals to the course that I'm teaching now. So in this case, the fundamental concept of database design is given in the prerequisite course. So it means that the students knows already about designing the database and whatnot. And then please design in a 14 weeks course on contents and highlight the learning objective. So when I run this, it is very interesting to see. So it gives you the references. So they're actually referring to database course. They're actually referring to, so this is from Coursera. They're referring to something here from a university or from an online course. And they also refer to a number of references here. So you can actually look at whether they refer to the right references, or if they don't actually refer to the right references, you can actually trigger it. Like, for example, could you give more references referring to content from other universities in Asia or in Malaysia or in other regions? So in this case, I think we can improve it. But for me, this is a good start, because now I know what have I missed, or what are the things that I can improve from my syllabus. So in this case, they actually provide the course objective. Okay, so they re-articulate. So these are the course objectives that perhaps we can have to improve our courses, existing courses. If you cannot fit this in, or if you cannot have it in your course outline, because I know we have that rules and this and that, which is kind of like hard to work around with certain details, but you can have it in your course page, and then you can break it down into the topics. So the students knows better, or the students will be able to know or to understand, when I have this topic, what will I understand? When I have this topic, what will I understand? And so on and so forth. So this is some of the examples. All right, so this is an example of week 1, week 2. And if you notice here, if you notice to what I have just now, okay, so for example here, let me share with you my course outline. So week 1, introduction, database, and SQL, and so on and so forth. By week 4, if I follow some of the standard of how people actually delivering this course, by week 4, I have moved to a much more advanced topic, which is the PLSQL. And at the moment that I've spent quite a lot of weeks until week 7 to only reach into the topics that I supposed to have come earlier. Although this is aligned with the learning objective and whatnot, but if we look at how people deliver the course, especially now that we realize a lot of this topic is actually have been covered earlier, why don't we remove some of this topic so that the previous courses, the previous lecturers can focus on it and emphasize on it better? So in this case, we can just recall a very important concept, and then we move on to the most important part of this course. But sometimes when we design the course, sometimes we thought that all the students will have to be reminded again about this. So we go with some cohort which may not be a good benchmark for developing the course. But I often see that's what holds us up from improving our syllabus, because we benchmark to the wrong cohort, for example, or we are not actually equipped enough with the kind of information that actually happening at the moment. And there's so many things happening. Our course may be easily obsolete at certain times. So in this case, I really encourage to again check at least. We don't have to take this for granted, but at least now we know, we can actually have it earlier, and we can actually highlight certain topics which probably we haven't covered it earlier. So for example, I do have certain topics which we don't have it, we don't cover earlier. But the fact that it is actually recommended means that aggregately, a lot of people has been doing this. So why don't we do this? Why don't we teach this in the class? Just because we don't, just because some of us probably haven't mastered this, why not? We learn this and then we teach the students while we try to internalize this ourselves. So in this case, I think a lot of things that we can actually do with this. And again, some of the topics may not be aligned, so you can actually remove, but some of the topics that is aligned, you can actually put in. And this is why the course becoming more and more dynamic and relevant, okay? And if this is not sufficient, if you have a look, I actually triggered with some of the, let me just show you that I triggered with some of example here. I don't want to just have the topic. I want to have something that is a lot more interesting. Like, for example, I need to know what kind of formative assessment I can use if I deliver certain topics here. So for example, here, let me just give you one of the examples on the week 13 and 14. So all this while I've been giving the theories, I've been giving some examples on how to do the error handling in the PLSQL. But in here, I realized I can actually have a mini hands-on project on individual project on just the error handling. Like for example, I can give a script and then ask them to find out where's the how to actually fit in the error handling in the script that I have. So this is one of the things we can actually learn in terms of constructive alignment, how we can actually improve assessing the students on how they understand the topic. So this is some of the way we can actually use. So what I did was in the prompt, after I get all the feedback and whatnot, I requested for 14 weeks, oh, sorry, it was here. I requested for 14 weeks with assessment. So please give much detailed breakdown for each week. Recommend the suitable formative assessment for each week. Total formative marks are 60% out of the 100 coursework. So that's when all this comes in. And you can actually even more drill further. Like for example, give me an example. If I have to drill further, if I have to drill this further, give an example of formative assessment, the kind of questions that I should ask on formative assessment for week 1. So it will give you some of the examples of the questions. If you feel that is reasonable, you can have that into your iTalim. If it's not, then you can come up with another questions and whatnot. So this is kind of the tools in which you can brainstorm better, and you will not be judged in this tool. So this is a safe zone kind of brainstorming, because if we brainstorm in the group, sometimes we feel that we will be judged. So this is the tools that you won't feel be judged. So brainstorm with the tools and improve the course better. So this is some of the examples. Also, yeah, just want to make sure, is it clear on this one, on how we can use to improve the topics? Because I'm not sure whether everyone aware, you have 30% out of the course that you actually have flexibility. You can actually improve and make it more relevant, right? That you don't have to bring to Senate level, if I'm mistaken. So you can actually work around with those topics, because otherwise, I remembered one of the statement of the Prime Minister during the recent program in WTC when with the program with the KPT is that he would want to see a lot more robust, or a lot more a better way, flexible way, innovative way in terms of curriculum and teaching. So I think we are very much aligned with what the nation envisions. So in this case, leverage that 30% and improve, so that the students, when they graduate from the program or when they finish your course, they have a relevant knowledge to bring to the industry or to the society. Okay, so this is some of the example. Any questions or any feedback? Okay. Dr. Shakur, I think you should know better. The question from Dr. Shakur is, do we have any flexibility with the assessment that is, okay, that we can change, or we can change the ratio of formative and summative assessment in our course outline? I cannot answer for all domains, but I know for sure certain domains, certain professional bodies have requirement. Certain professional bodies have requirements that you cannot go lower than certain portion. So I think you have to consult the professional body's requirement. I should not answer yes or no, because I know every professional bodies have a very strict requirement, especially when it comes to final assessment. That's what I can say there. Okay. Yep. So Dr. Fatin mentioned that 30% NCO doesn't need to be brought to Senate. This exclude major change, prerequisite, course name, of course, yeah. If you have any, the 30% is only on the content. So you cannot change the course. You cannot change the learning outcome, because you change the learning outcome, it changes the program learning outcome. So we have to be careful. Anything related to CLO, anything related to PLO, PEO, that's a very hard rules on that. But when it comes to content, because you have learning outcome, and that there are many ways to make sure that people have that skills, right? So if you want to adjust a little bit so that they have better understanding on that topic, we can. All right, the next question is, which AI platform is the best so far, Prof, Copilot or ChatGPT or others? Personally, if you have access to the premium one, to the ChatGPT 4, the result is a lot more better, and it actually gives you references. So you know where do they get this information from. Because when I use the free one, as you can see in here, it just come up with the output, but when we want to find out, and then when I ask where do you get this information from, and then they will give that standard answer that they have actually been learning from all the informations prior to certain years. So in this case, you don't get the latest informations. And then, yeah, so that's the strength and weaknesses of ChatGPT. With Copilot, as I showed just now, it actually gives you the references. And then it actually give you, if you want to go further, like for example here, so I know this one is OpenCourseWare from MIT. I refer to this courseware a lot. So I know some of the informations here are relevant for me, because first is actually comes from education institutions. Second, the assessment actually kind of similar to the assessment that I'm adopting, like for example, mini quizzes and how they score the quizzes and whatnot. But some of the online platform, like for example here, Udemy and whatnot, notbahadur.com, I don't know what kind of assessment they are doing. So I think with Copilot, I have some kind of assurance that some of the answer actually are very well referred kind of references. So I would use both. I use both just to cross check, because there are strength and weaknesses from each answer. So I don't use one. I use at least 2, 3. I compare with BART. So the more information, the more I understand the information, the confidence I am to use that information. Okay. Yeah, so I want to move away from the Dresden give feedback Copilot use ChatGPT technology, Microsoft against OpenAI. But okay, put that aside. I don't think that's something that is relevant for us. What is relevant is that there are strengths and weaknesses in how they present the information. So although it's the back end probably kind of similar, but I don't find the informations that they use is they process, even if you're sitting next to each other, it's hardly, you will hardly get the same output, although you are using the same prompt. So let me just make it clear at that. So not necessarily you use the same. If you use the prompt that I shared with you just now, not necessarily you have the same output as what I have, right? So that is the nature, because possibly they actually, when they're trying to extract the information, they extract the information from different documents to the documents that they access when they are trying to answer your query. So this is why I think having more than one platforms would be better. And not to mention, as an academician, I would encourage to even go beyond the ChatGPT. So after you get all that, maybe you can refer to some of the courseware. MIT have a very good courseware. I know some universities in Malaysia also have. I could remember some other university in US that actually, if I was mistaken, Harvard has, MIT, Stanford has OpenCourseware for certain domain, but again, go beyond, because then you can see, oh, okay, so these are the kind of things that people use in the course syllabus, okay? Okay, so from Dr. Rani, can I just jump into the question and answer? So at least, I hope I don't miss any of the questions that I have in the screen.
There's another one, Prof. It's
Okay.
about copyright of the course outline.
Okay. Who owns the copyright of the course outline? Usually when it was developed by an academic of the institution claimed the copyright for its employee. But now that AI produced it, can the university still appropriate for the IP? That's very good questions. And knowing you that you are coming from law, Dr. Wan, when I was visited US recently, and when I was trained to do something else, actually I learned on how to teach with cases, and I learned how to form a case with generative AI. They are very specific on which part of the course can actually be used as a prompt, and which part of the course syllabus can be put as a prompt, which part of the course syllabus you cannot use in the prompt. They're very specific. So again, as I said just now, I didn't actually use the entire document, because I know some of our colleagues, they just push in the whole PDF and let AI to extract. I'm not comfortable with that, because I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to do that. So I just type portions of it, which is kind of generic, and put the context to the prompt to generate the output better. And I only work with that. So yeah, that's how it is. But who owns it? I think you know better who owns it. From what I heard in US, it belongs to the university. The one in Australia said the same thing. It belongs to the university. Anything that you produce during your working hours actually belongs to the university. So yeah, I don't know whether the answer, but I think you know better. Okay, so again, which AI platform is the best? I'm not going to say the best. It's complementing each other. Every platform has its strengths and weaknesses, and that's why I would not encourage to only rely on one platform. You use the same prompt for different platforms. So this is usually what I would do. Let me just share with you. I would type my prompt in Notepad or in Microsoft Word. And then until I get all the information ready, then I copy to the prompt. I copy to ChatGPT, I copy to the Copilot, I copy to the BART, and I look at all the different output. So yeah, again, I will not use one platform. And I don't think I'm comfortable in using only one platform. Okay. Is there any other questions? Dr. Rafiz highlighted about use BART. Yeah, so there are three. Yeah, the one that I said just now, Copilot, ChatGPT, and BART. BART, I would encourage not to use. And in fact, you cannot use IAM account. You have to use your personal account. Okay. Is there any other questions? Or please feel free to unmute. I know we have around 8 more minutes. Okay, thank you, Dr. Said. Yeah. Is there any other question? Feel free to unmute.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Mira.
Waalaikumsalam, Prof.
First of all, sorry, my voice is not good.
You're audible and nice.
Secondly, I would like to congratulate you for all this very important information. Since the issue of course outline has been raised, I think it is good that the university looks into this matter, whether it can be shared or not, because as far as I know, we are asked to share the course outline with the students in Italy. So I am not very sure whether this is for the purpose of making the students aware in advance before they attend the classes. There is one. And number two, in addition to a course outline, we are also asked to prepare course plan, which is, I think, expansion of this course outline that we put in the ITALIM. So I think this need to be resolved so that everyone will be clear when they do their job here in this university. Secondly, I can also benefit from this very much, particularly what I want to share here is that there are times when we have courses with two levels, either at undergraduate level or even a master and PhD. For example, sociology of religion, maybe there are two levels, or even sociological theory 1, sociological theory 2. I think your input is helpful in the sense that when we want to create the difference between level 1 and level 2, I think we can go to AI generative tools to help us giving the initial ideas as to how different level 1 and level 2 before we can provide further the prompts that make them prepare the details for both levels. I think that is very, very useful and very informative for me. Thank you very much, Dr. Mira. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Thank you very much, Prof. Yes, and on highlighting, just to address on how to improve especially when it comes in, the course comes in first year, comes in second year. So when you have levels on the course, so for example, the first year you have certain aspect that you want to highlight, maybe I believe what will be good for you to complement on not just the course synopsis, part of the course synopsis, but also the learning outcome of the course. So maybe you can differentiate. So this is the course synopsis, but this is the learning outcome. By the end of the course, the student should be able to do this. So at that first year, because you probably have that articulated earlier, right? Before you come up with the with our revisions that we are doing now. So maybe you can actually, when it comes to the prompt, there's no limit on how many lines. So as you can put as much information as you can. The more informations, the more the better way for the LLMs to actually filter out what's relevant and what's not. So please have that, and please try again with different course outline, or maybe you can ask ChatGPT what would be the course learning outcome for first year students who are new to this program, and then by the end of the program they should be able to have this skills and the program learning outcome that is relevant to your course. So that I think that we can go we can reverse engineer sort of. This is the output. How do I get there? So I think that's another approach. Thank you so much, Prof. Azizan.
Okay, thank you. Great. Thank you.
There's a question from Dr. Siti Fairuz.
Okay.
Across the AI tools you have used, has there been any contradiction in the proposed content? If so, how to harmonize or to reach a certain appropriateness?
Okay. Has there been any contradictions in the proposed content? Oh yes, absolutely. I've come across kind of even a very extreme difference between the output of ChatGPT and then Copilot and BART, for example, on the sequence, because most of the, for example, from BART, they agreed they have to go in this sequence, certain topics is actually covered in this sequence. And suddenly when I look at the result from ChatGPT, it actually reverse the sequence, or the sequence is different. Logically, because you've been teaching the course for quite some time, you know that it is impossible that that topic would come first. So of course, I'm not going to use that output. I'm going to use different output, which I believe it is suitable. So you are given all these informations, but the final say is you. So because you have taught the course, you have the subject matter expert. These are just references, but you know which one is the best way. So when I have that very contradicting output, and I know that contradicting output is not suitable to my context, I don't use it. I mean, like, we have the say to not use it, right? Because it's just a reference. So does it answer your questions, Dr. Fairuz? I hope it is, but feel free to unmute if it's not clear. Okay. Oh yeah, about IP and issues, I think this is not new. And in fact, certain news agency have actually request for OpenAI not to scan through the content. I know some other publishers also ban OpenAI to access the content, and so I mean, like, this is not new debate. So I think that's why we have to be mindful. If you feel that those are very sensitive kind of information, please do not share in the prompt, especially for the free one. Even the premium one, I would not encourage to do that. Okay. Can I answer Dr. Shakur questions, Dr. Raini?
Yes, please.
Okay, so whenever I use AI for education, I notice it seems to be pushing on the idea of diversity, which have negative implications of, okay, all right. My view, again, it's just references. The whole, the man in power, the woman in power is us. So I think now, because we have values, we have expertise, we have ideas, what would be the ideal to bring this course forward, you can get all the things as what it comes, come what may, but I think the final decisions on what is best is of course us. So, and after all, when we defend this course in Senate, I don't think any of the Senate member would ask, have you consulted ChatGPT? So don't worry, we will. And if anyone says that, I will absolutely say something, because that's not the purpose of it. The purpose is not on using the platform. The purpose is to gain more understanding on the course. So I hope that answer your questions, Dr. Shakur. Shifting the narrative. Again, references. We have so many books in the, we have so many references in, before the ChatGPT comes in, we have so many things in Google that shifting the narratives anyway, every day. So again, what matters is what is inside our brain to filter what is relevant and what's not. Subject matter expert. Okay. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So changing the narrative for those who are not so knowledgeable. Let me, before we close the session, let me just give you the experience, okay, from what happened in the class this semester. I've been trying to highlight to my students, you have tools, you use it. Like, for example, we have ChatGPT, you use it. I don't ban ChatGPT in my class. Yeah, I encourage everyone to actually learn from it. In fact, I openly say that distracted with Dr. Alina's feedback. I will address to that later. So in fact, I encourage everyone to highlight what you have learned from ChatGPT. So there's one, when I said that, because they know that they can use ChatGPT, so happened that after one assessment, they actually give the answer, which is totally out of the things that I taught in the class. And when I said, oh, I know you get this from ChatGPT because I don't cover this topic. It's good, it's excellent, but I don't cover this topic. So I wonder, do you understand what you actually get from ChatGPT? Because I want to learn now. And then that's when the truth comes in. So the students, they know how to use the tools, they know how to extract the information, but they know how to value the information, so how to assess the information. So I don't stop them. But the problem is, so when you say that it's shifting the narrative, do they know how to use the narrative in the first place? So I think that is what we can actually trigger in the class by using the tools. So if they submitted the answer, ask them to explain about what they get from ChatGPT. Dr. Adina extended my answer, especially after listening to my talk. Okay, I'm excited because I really hope a lot of Senate members also use ChatGPT. Okay, I think that's all. Is there anything else?
Yes, I think that's all. And then we
All right.
have a really good advice from Dr. Asma. Use it as a tool, not the solution.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Prof. Mira. Inshallah, we are looking forward to having you in the future. It was a great training, great knowledge sharing session, and I hope that it benefits everyone in designing and refining your own course syllabus, inshallah. Thank you everyone for your participation in this training. We hope to see you again in the next time, inshallah. Let's end with Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. Okay, before we dismiss, let's have a photo session. So let me just have a look at how many slides do we have here. Please turn on your camera. This is the
Okay.
first training.
Dr. Aini, later on, I will compile some of the slides, the prompt, and the resources that I have in CPD. In CPD, in iTalim. I will put it into one folder sharing, and I hope CPD can share with them, all the participants. Yeah?
Thank you so much, Prof. Inshallah, we will do that. Okay, let's have a photo session. So this is screen number 1. Okay. Okay, everyone. Let me see. Okay. Okay, everyone smile. I'm sorry. Let me see. Sorry. Hilda, can you help me, please? Cannot take the picture. Can we try again? Okay, so let's try. Okay, everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is page number 1. Let's go to page number 2. Everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. Let's go to page number 3. Everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. And okay, again, just one came in. Okay. Smile. 1, 2, 3. And the last page. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so I hope we can see you in the next CPD training. Yes, Prof?
Thank you so much, everyone. I really learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank you so
Alhamdulillah.
much, Prof.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum and bye-bye.
Wassalam.
Thank you so much, Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Prof. Mira. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Thank you, Prof.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Thank you, Prof. Mira.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Dokter.